Hi everyone, today we're covering the Scarlet and Violet base set expansion for PTCG Live. This video will serve as a player's guide, and together we'll cover pack pull rates, an update to the crafting guide, and crafting priorities for the set. Let's first start with the Scarlet and Violet pack pull rates. As we had mentioned in our previous video on crafting, Scarlet and Violet is the first set to introduce a 6-card pack to PTCGL. We've since extracted the official pull rates from the game files, and we've populated the percentages for each rarity and slot, as shown in the table. Slots 1 through 3 follow the old pattern of having a 0.5% chance of upgrading to a higher rarity. Slot 4 is fairly average in terms of pull rates and doesn't have a chance to upgrade beyond normal rare. The old slot 5 has been turned into these new slot 5 and slot 6. Whereas previously the slot 5 was guaranteed to be rare or higher, we now have this new slot with a high chance of commons and uncommons. To offset this, the developers have created this new slot 6 that is guaranteed to have rares or higher, but crucially does not have special illustration rares or hyper rares in slot 6. Since we know the pull rates per rarity per pack, we can extrapolate the expected pulls for each rarity for any given number of packs. As example, I will use 400 packs, which is the number I use in many of my previous videos for analysis. The important thing to point out here is that in each of the slots in 1 through 3, the cards will only upgrade approximately twice per 400 packs, which is pretty underwhelming. The 0.5% chance of upgrading is the same for every regular expansion set, regardless of whether it's from Black and White era, X and Y era, Sun and Moon era, or Sword and Shield era. That said, the infrequency of the upgrade does make it pretty hype when you actually do get an upgrade. Another way to use this information is to optimize your early crafting goals for the set. For example, if I know I'm expected to get 13 illustration rares per 400 packs, and there are 10 special illustration rares in the set, then I know I will likely get between 1 and 2 of each of these rares. That means I would only want to craft up to 2 of any copy of these cards until I've opened the 400 packs. Next, let's cover the updated crafting costs for Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet does a total revamp of the card rarities by getting rid of many of the older types such as Holo rares and Rainbow rares. Instead, we have this revamped system of rare pluses: double rares, illustration rares, ultra rares, special illustration rares, and hyper rares. Surprisingly, double rares are only 600 credits to craft, despite the fact that several EX Pokemon are double rares. It's also a nice surprise to see special illustration rares at 1250 credits, when these are much harder to pull than ultra rares. Similarly, we have updated dusting values for Scarlet and Violet. Although some cards are cheaper to craft than we had expected, the downside of that is that they also dust for fewer credits. As an example, EX Pokemon, which are double rares, might only dust for 150 credits, and similarly, certain special art illustration rares will only dust for 600 credits. This leads to an overall set ranking for Scarlet and Violet base set slotting in at number 10, when compared to all of the previous sets I've analyzed. Despite the extra card slot in Scarlet and Violet, the reduced dust from some of the higher rarity pulls leads to a more modest pack EV. Now that we've had a few days to analyze the emerging metagame for Scarlet and Violet, I can now identify several cards that are exclusive to Scarlet and Violet that should be prioritized when crafting. On the Pokemon staples, we have Gardevoir EX, Miraidon EX, Klefki, Hawlucha, and Skwovet. on the trainer staples, we've got Beach Court, Mesa Goza, Electric Generator, Arvin, and Miriam. Apart from the current staples, there are also several cards to pay attention to, as while they're not meta relevant now, they are expected to become meta relevant in the future after Paldea Evolved is released. These include Banette EX, Bidops EX, Quakeoval, Reveroom, Penny, and Jack. Overall, my impressions of Scarlet and Violet is that it's a solid base set. It introduces some new mechanics, nothing too crazy. It offers 6 card packs, cheap crafting options, pretty good value through code cards, especially if you also got the free decks. And it's just an efficient set. You know, it has some exclusive staples that you need to craft, but there's also many cards that you don't need, and you can wait to see if they pan out in future sets. That's it for now. Thank you, and please like and subscribe.